Okay, folks, we're going to continue on talking about the unit circle and how the unit circle relates to the trig functions. Sine, cosine, and tangent is what we're going to start out with. So just as a reminder, the unit circle is a circle with a radius of 1, and every point on the unit circle directly correlates to the sine of the angle and the cosine of the angle. Okay, because every point creates a right triangle, as you can see from this diagram here. So because the radius is 1, then if I think about the x coordinate and the y coordinate of this particular point, the x coordinate right there would be the cosine of theta. So it would be exactly x. So the cosine of theta and x would be the same because the cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, which is x over 1. The sine of theta then would be y because the sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse, so that'd be y over 1, so it would be just y. Okay, so you need to remember the 6 trig functions, not just opposite over hypotenuse and adjacent over hypotenuse. But then when you're looking at the triangle created by that point on the unit circle, opposite over hypotenuse, oh, I mixed these two up. Sorry, that's supposed to be adjacent. The other's supposed to be opposite. Then you get x over 1 and y over 1. Then tangent is opposite over adjacent, so that's going to be y over x. And then secant, cosecant, and cotangent are the reciprocals. So if I'm trying to evaluate the sine of one of the angles on the unit circle, that means I'm looking at that angle, finding it, and stating what the y coordinate is. So when I go to 225 degrees, I can see that that is right here. And then the sine of 225 gives me negative root 2 over 2. Because the ordered pair, and I'm gonna, because it's kind of blurry here, the ordered pair at 225 is negative root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2. Okay, so the cosine of 225 degrees would also be negative root 2 over 2 because the x and the y coordinates are the same there. The tangent of 225 degrees would be y over x. So that's going to be 1 because I would have negative root 2 over 2 divided by negative root 2 over 2. Oops. So that cancels out. So you just get negative over negative is positive. So you get 1. All right, let's look at another one. Cosine of 240 degrees. So 240 is down here, same as 4 pi over 3. The ordered pair at 240 is negative 1/2, negative root 3 over 2. So the cosine is the x coordinate, so I get negative 1/2. You can also plug that into your calculator, as long as your calculator is in degree mode. So you go to mode, make sure it's in degrees, and you punch in cosine of 240 and you get negative 1/2. Remember that in the first quadrant, my x and my y, meaning my cosine and my sine, are going to be positive. In the second quadrant, cosine's negative and sine is positive. In the third quadrant, they're both negative. In the fourth quadrant, cosine is positive and sine is negative. So when I think about tangent, because tangent is y over x, then tangent is going to be positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. And it'll be negative in quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. Let's do another one. Cosine of negative 60. Remember, we start at 0, and if I'm rotating negative, then there's 30, there's 45, and 60 is going to be right here. My ordered pair is 1/2 negative root 3 over 2. So the cosine is going to be positive 1/2. The sine at negative 60 would be negative root 3 over 2. The tangent of negative 60, I'd have to take the y over the x, so I'd get negative root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. So negative root 3 over 2 times 2 over 1. So I get negative root 3 for tangent. I could also find the secant, cosecant, and cotangent by just taking the reciprocals of all three of these. Tangent of negative 30. Here's negative 30 right here. My ordered pair is root 3 over 2, negative 1/2. So tangent is going to be negative 1/2 divided by root 3 over 2. So that's negative 1/2 times 2 over root 3. So I get negative 1 over root 3. So when I multiply by root 3 over root 3 to rationalize, I get negative root 3 over 3. One last one. Tangent of negative 270. Think about this. Positive 270 is down here, but that's if I'm rotating in a positive direction. If I rotate in a negative direction, I'm starting here at 0 and I end up right here. So negative 270 is the same as 90. My ordered pair is 0, 1. So when I put y over x, that's undefined. Tangent of negative 270 is undefined. All right, so you're going to go to Delta Math, do the problems for January 4th. And what is this? Long underwear. We're in that season, folks. It's chilly outside. Reach out if you have questions.